Hello, and on this short video today, I'm going to introduce you to a friend and colleague by the name of Kerry Rees, somebody I met at one of his wild running events some months ago. He runs wild running and trail running events, and I attended one in South Devon, which was a marathon, and it was really interesting, and we got talking, and as a result of that, we kind of formed a loose partnership to provide running events at my venue, the Old Spanish Mill in Spain, of course. Now, first of all, Kerry, I'd just like to ask you why you kind of chose this part of Spain and the Ode Mill for your venue for the events that you ran this year in 2023 and the ones that you're looking at in the future.
Well, Bernard, you kind of sold it to me, to be honest. I mean, first of all, I saw it through your eyes partly because I loved your backstory. This fact that you fall in love with this place and you put a lot of passion and love into restoring this place. And you showed me the pictures. I looked at the website, and it looked fantastic. I did spend some time in my 20s living in Spain, and in that time, I was lucky enough to do a little bit of traveling, and I visited Andalusia, and I was blown away by the culture and the climate. I have to say, the climate's ideal. The particular area where the mill is, it's a sort of, I'd say, dry but cool. So it's not sort of unbearably hot, but it is sunny frequently. I know I've been there twice now, once in October and once in April, and both times the weather was honestly perfect. It was just perfect for trail running, or other activities as well. If you wanted to do a bit of mountain biking, or even swimming. But in our case, it was trail running because I like the idea of running along the old dry ramblas, dried up rivers, which were kind of quite kind on your bones, so you could run for miles and miles and link up the various towns and villages with this silty kind of river deposits. So quite nice to run along. And then you've got the mountains as a backdrop. The Los Falabres range, which is above Serron, which is the nearest town. And it's just, as soon as you see it, if you're into running in the mountains, you just want to get up there.
Brilliant. And just give us a little insight, give people who are perhaps watching us a little insight to what you include in these events, retreats, camps, whatever you kind of, however people wish to look at them. Just give us an insight to what you include.
Yeah, so we do camps, and we also do retreats. The distinguishing factor is usually we've added yoga, and we since the pandemic, I think a lot of people have sort of enjoyed time to reflect on things and maybe slow things down a bit. So I think that it's not a rocket science to come to surmise that we all have had to find other ways of living, and I think that incorporating an element of well-being into the camps and retreats is something that I think we need. So not just from a performance perspective, but from a general well-being perspective, I think it's on the same spectrum. Because after all, if you don't enjoy your trail running, then if you don't have good mental health, you're not going to enjoy it, are you? Really, the two
Right.
go hand in hand. So yeah, so there's that, and then I added some gong bathing, which is something I must admit I was a little bit apprehensive about at first, but I met this Dutch guy called Frank when I visited you in October. You put me in touch actually, and he kind of sold it to me, I must say, and it was something that you have to try once in your life, I think, at least, and it's not for everybody, but I think there are certainly a few people in our group who tried it, and a couple of insomniacs as well, who fell fast asleep and probably had the best night's sleep they'd had in years.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant. And I think anyone who's watching this and is a little bit like inspired to think, yeah, I'd quite like to give this a go. I think something that might hold one or two people back a little bit is, if I book something like this and I'm going on my own, or I'm going to be meeting new people and it's people I'm not familiar with, and it can be a little bit scary. And I just wondered how you kind of help people feel relaxed and easy about coming on something where they are going to be meeting new, complete strangers as such, and how you kind of bring that group together.
Well, a lot of people have commented, and I think this probably is one of our USPs, if you like, is that we do try to create a relaxed ambience and a sort of good rapport between people. And I think part of that is being yourself, not trying to be somebody else. From day one, we sit down, we introduce each other, we talk about our reasons for being there, and you get some quite frank, I wouldn't say confession, but I would say people do come out with some quite personal stuff. And so once your cards are on the table, you kind of got nothing to hide. And I think sometimes people find that actually with strangers, they may never see them again. So actually, what's the problem? What's the problem with sharing their intimacy? So, in some cases that happens on day one, and people surprise themselves. I can't believe I just said that. And so it creates a bond. And quite often on these camps, I find that people have created this gel. And I think that we try to hold a space for people so that they feel safe to do that. And I think having done this for about 10 years, I think it's safe to say that we do that quite well, because people do tend to bond and do tend to gel, and they and in some cases form quite solid, long-lasting friendships.
Yeah, brilliant. And I can certainly vouch for that, for being there last time when you were there with your group. And from my personal observation, for people listening and watching this, I'm sure they pick up on this, but you're a really friendly, easygoing guy, but also really humble. When we were over there, I persuaded you to do a little bit of speed work with me out on the old railway line, because I was training up for London at the time, and God, I realised what an amazing runner you are. But you didn't really feel that comfortable talking about it. So your humility as well, I think, really helps a group of people. So my last thing, just really, is how would people get hold of you? And if somebody watching this and thinking, yeah, I'd really like to do something like this, how do they get hold of you, and how do they book up and talk to you about your dates and stuff like that?
It's really easy, Bernard. They just pick up the phone or send an email. But hopefully they'll see it on our website. So I've got plans. Well, we've just discussed it. That hopefully we can come back out in October. I definitely want to get another date in the diary, and we're looking at possibly a snowshoe championship in Andalusia in January, to be confirmed. But yeah, if people are interested, they can just get me through email, info@wildrunning.co.uk, or they can pick up the phone and call me. But they can book through the website, which is wildrunning.co.uk, and hopefully we'll have some new dates up there soon.
And yeah, for anyone listening and is in any doubt, diminish those doubts, because it's what Kerry puts on is really good. It's very, as he said, very relaxed, very inclusive, and you'll just have an amazing experience. So thanks ever so much for giving me a few minutes of your time, Kerry, just to share your thoughts about what you're doing. Thanks ever so much.
Oh, no worries. And likewise, thank you, Bernard, for introducing me to this amazing place. I came back thoroughly refreshed. Yeah, it was work, but it didn't feel like work. It was a very, very enjoyable experience.
Brilliant.
So thank you.
Thank you.